Welcome to episode 187 of the Daniel Yoris podcast, The Winter Arc. Let's go. The Winter Arc is a concept that I picked up recently from Twitter, which is very quickly becoming my favorite social media platform, or X rather. And the Winter Arc is just this concept. And I actually looked up a little bit where it originated from. Apparently it's just like a movie, TV show thing, maybe anime. It's not like a specific thing, but it just essentially describes the winter season, bearing down, being somewhat isolated, dealing with harsh winter conditions, depending on where you live in the world, of course, and really taking the time to dig down, lock in, and get some self-improvement done in whatever facet that might be it your fitness, be it your business, be it your family life, relationships, all of the things, it all matters, it's all intertwined, it's all really related and really the same stuff. And so I figured, I like this kind of conceptual things, and let's roll with this and make it fitness related, as one does. So here's the thing with winter. It's true with fitness, it's true with, again, everything else. It's really easy to hide behind, and by the way, it's not winter yet, but winter is approaching, right? It's beginning of October, and winter's, the season's changing, the leaves are starting to change. Obviously we're in fall, but like winter's coming. Things are get colder. It's easy to hide behind sweaters. The holidays are coming, so there's lots of good food and lots of quote-unquote excuses coming up as to why you can't stay fit, why you can't stick to your diet, why you skip the gym, and all of these sort of things. It gets dark earlier in the day, so you feel lazier. It's not light outside when you wake up, and so you feel like you don't want to get out of bed. All of these things. We all go through it. We all deal with it, and you can kind of shrivel up and let it consume you and not come out on the other side positively, or you can bear down, accept the challenges of the next couple of months, and use that as motivation or as a way to improve. Like, you're going to change over the next couple of months, as you change every couple of months. Might as well take control of that and make it a positive change rather than a negative change and blame things that are outside of your control, like the weather and the time of year anyways. So sometimes these things can be, a little cheesy, a little cringe, whatever you want to call it. But also, like, who cares about that? There's nothing wrong, I think, with the best word, and it's counter to, like, the people that I've heard this from, not that it's counter to them, but the group of people. The best word I can use to describe this is, like, it's okay to make things a little bit romantic, to think that for this period of time, you're in your winter arc era, whatever you want to say. And you're going to bear down, and this is your time, and it's time to lock in and tell yourself this story, and you're have that main character energy. This is your movie and all that stuff. Like, very cheesy, very corny, but like, who cares? And if that motivates you to dig in and get the things done that you need to get done, that you want to get done, then that is very okay. And if people are going to like laugh at that or make fun of that, then, they can go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned. But the thing with this is, and I will come back to this, it's cringy and it's weird and cheesy when you're just talking a lot of shit. When you're saying, I'm on my winter arc, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, and you don't do anything. That's when it's cheesy. You label this like a period of your life, monk mode, winter arc, whatever you want to call it. You label a period of your life, and then you get done the things that you said you were going to get done. People can say it's cringy, but you have wildly positive results to show from it, fitness or otherwise. And so who cares? It only matters when you just say that you're going to do a bunch of stuff and then you don't actually do it. So like, make sure that you actually do the things. That is going to be more important than telling yourself any story about what period or what time of the year it is anyways. So I think the theme around the whole time of year is just that isolation and focus. There are less distractions in the winter than there are through the summer. And I think we can actually think about this two ways. There are the holidays, and so those are coming up, and we'll talk about that. But on a day-to-day or weekly basis, in the summer, it seems like for most people, there's a barbecue or a pool party, or like there's something happening every weekend, even if it's like a random Wednesday or Thursday. Friends are going out and doing stuff. Like, you just do stuff less in the winter. And it's because it's cold and kind of shitty outside, and no one's really feeling like going out. And to go out, you got to get all dressed up in different like winter clothing. It's easy to just throw on a pair of, a bathing suit and flip-flops and go out the house and do stuff in the summer. It's just a little bit more intensive in the winter. Not to say that you can't, obviously it's a pretty lame excuse, but this is how all of our mentalities work. And so accept that that's going to happen, which means that it's easier to focus on some other things because there are less distractions. There are some short-lived major distractions like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but the rest of the time, like, you're probably not really doing a whole lot. Here's another thing with the isolation. No matter what, fitness is a solo adventure. We can try and be part of a team, and we listen to this podcast, and maybe you follow a certain person online, or you're part of some sort of like online group community and your team, whatever. And all that stuff is like fine and good, and there's definitely like a ton of value in that. But nobody can actually do this for you. Nobody can go to the gym and push through the reps. Nobody can stick to the diet and slap cookies out of your hand and do the cardio and get through all the things and get to bed on time. Like, no one can do that stuff for you. There are lots of people who can support you in various ways, but no one can do this stuff for you. And the sooner you accept that this is a solo journey, the better off you are going to be. If you can push through all of this stuff and come out really, really well on the other side of this winter, when it's harder through the winter, there's less motivation, all the things that we just talked about. If you can get through it when it's more difficult, imagine how good you're going to be when things are easier in the springtime, in the summertime, next year round. Use whatever happened this summer for you, positive or negative. If you had a great summer, fitness-wise, like you were on point, you felt like you looked great in a bathing suit and in a suit or dress or wedding stuff, whatever events you had this summer, you want to keep that going. So use that motivation to be even a little bit better next year. And if you didn't feel confident in a bathing suit, in event wear, whatever you had going on this summer, then it starts now. You cannot wait until next May to be like, oh shit, remember last year I was at such and such pool party or so-and-so's wedding, and I've got another one coming up this summer, and I hated how I looked. I felt bad. I wasn't confident. Now I got to like dial things in all of a sudden in May. Like, no, it starts from now. And that cycle of like, I've got to do this extreme thing all of a sudden right now to get in shape for 2 weeks from now, that has to end. You have to get rid of that attitude. So it starts now. And for whatever you wanted to happen this summer that didn't happen, it starts now for next summer. So let's make a plan. I'm only going to talk about fitness, but as I said already, and as you know from listening to this, unless this is your first time listening, if it is, welcome. This is only going to be about fitness, but you make your own conclusions about your family life, about your relationships, about your business or work or school, if you're still in school. You make those connections on your own because they're going to be there and they're all related. So if you want to tie in some work-related goals, some family-related goals, please do that. But I'm not here to tell you about those things. I'm here to talk to you about your fitness, and that's the side of things that I can really help you dial in. Workouts. Let's start here. The more I think about this, and I have been experimenting with this with several clients, just kind of conceptually over the last little while, is for this period, I suggest if you want to do this whole like winter arc lock-in thing, you need to work out every single day. Now, what that means is not go to the gym and max out your bench press and back squat and whatever every single day. That's dumb. But exercising every day, having some sort of scheduled, structured plan for exercise, be it an actual hard lift, maybe a lighter lift, accessory work, maybe cardio, maybe stretching or yoga or mobility work, various aspects of fitness. You schedule that in every single day. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half. It can be 30 minutes. It can be 20 minutes, but you get it in every day. This is how you really establish that habit. And something, again, that I've been talking about for a while now is this whole fitness thing. It needs to just become who you are and what you do. If you want to make changes that last forever, it has to become a part of your life. It can't just be something that you are doing for a short period of time to check a box, to complete a challenge. It has to become something larger than that. And the way to really nail that in for most people, not for everyone obviously, but for many people, is you got to do something every day, but plan for it, right? So I would suggest like 3 to 5 days of lifting, 1 to 2 days of just dedicated cardio, and that can be a combination of slow kind of zone 2-ish cardio, steady state, and some sprints or variations of sprints on a rower, on a bike, actual sprinting, running. If you have a place in your gym where you can, that's like long enough to do that, or on one of those fancy treadmills that you can actually sprint on, or whatever other cardio implement you want, and 1 to 2 days of mobility or stretching, yoga, something of that nature. Again, it can be short. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half. Like, there are people who are just like fucking around in the gym for 90 minutes, 2 hours every single day, and like they don't get anything done. They could get that done in 30 minutes if they just worked a little harder and like were a little bit more diligent. But it's social time. They're on their phone. They're talking to their friends at the gym. And by all means, like, that's all fine and good stuff. But you don't need to be in the gym for that long. You can get phenomenal results from just 30-minute workouts. Even if they were all 30-minute workouts, you get in there, you do squats and pull-ups today. Tomorrow you do trap bar deadlifts and overhead press. The next day you're doing Bulgarian split squats and chest supported rows. Like, you pick some very basic compound main lifts. You hit them hard for a number of sets, and it's okay to do like more sets of those exercises with a warm-up, maybe a couple accessories. You throw in some bicep curls for fun. Like, that's your workout right there. That's 30 minutes done and dusted, and more effective than a lot of the fuckery that you're going to see where, you know, you have a 17 exercise workout and it takes an hour and a half and like you didn't really get anything done. Get in there, hit it hard, get out. It doesn't have to be short, but it can be short. And this is where you marry that, like, getting into the gym every single day. So I'm super big on this now, where I think it's very important to plan and schedule to exercise every single day. It can even be just a walk outside. Like, that still counts, but it has to be something every day. That's what I would suggest for this period of time. That's what's going to help you lock in and really just embody this whole thing. You want to make a change? Well, you got to change something. There's a thing that I've been seeing lately as well, and maybe it's just like social media BS, but people asking questions and posing questions like, I want to lose 15 pounds, or I want to get abs, or I want to build muscle, but I don't want to give up XYZ. I don't want to do this. And it's like a basic thing. Like, I want to get shredded abs. I don't want to count my calories. I want to get shredded abs, but I don't want to go to the gym 4 days a week. Like, that was one that I saw a couple hours ago. And the problem is not that you can't get shredded abs without going to the gym 4 days a week. Like, yes, you could. You have to do some other things. The problem with that kind of question or thought process is the attitude associated with it. If you want to get abs, you want to get big arms, big legs, big back, big chest, whatever you want to get, and you don't have it. Like, if you want to do something, it's so cliche, but if you want to do something that you've never done, if you want to get something that you've never got, you've got to do something that you've never done. So the attitude of, I want to get X that I don't have without doing this thing that I don't like doing. Well, there has to be some sacrifice. There has to be some grind, something that you're going to have to go through. And not all of it you're going to like. And that's okay. Then you get to decide whether you want that thing or not. But you have to give up this thing like, I'm just going to be comfortable and I'm going to keep doing the same things I'm doing, and I'm going to take this one little supplement and I'm going to get everything that I want. It just doesn't happen. So you have to change the attitude to accept that you got to push through. And part of it, again, tying things back into what I was just talking about, is that you have to schedule this thing to work out every single day. Make it happen. Make it a part of your schedule, a part of your week. It's part of the whole lock-in process. You're going to do your work. You're going to study. You're going to, whatever other things you're going to do, you're going to exercise, scheduled, on point, on track, every single day. Done. Nutrition. So let's discuss the holidays first. Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up next weekend, or this weekend from when you're listening to this, probably. And then American Thanksgiving later in November. And then there's November or Christmas later in December, and then whatever other holidays that you may or may not celebrate, work stuff and whatever. So there's going to be a few things coming up, but let's just, Thanksgiving and Christmas, those are like pretty big ones. These are your cheat days. Include whatever other holiday parties and like pre-scheduled things you have there. These are your cheat days, and these are huge ones, right? For the rest of the time, you can suck it up and lock in. You get to stuff your face on Thanksgiving. You get to stuff your face at Christmas. If you must, you can stuff your face and whatever at the work Christmas party. The rest of the time, you can just eat clean. And you can just be okay with that. It's not punishment to eat healthy. It's not punishment to not be able to have a cookie. You want to lock in, you want to make some changes, you want to make some big changes, you got to do some big things. And maybe that's not having a cookie every night. Maybe that's foregoing your cheat meal on Saturdays because you know that next week is Thanksgiving, is whatever. And you can double it up, triple it up then. You have those days. By the way, these days, they're single days. A Christmas cheat meal doesn't have 17 Christmas cheat meals. It means have one, have two, maybe three, depending on how your family celebrates and how you split things up. Fine. But it's one. And then it's done. It's not a week's worth of cheat meals. It's a single meal and that's it. Plus, you can fast around it. I've talked about this so many times before. You fast the day before, maybe you fast the morning of, you get in a hard workout the morning of. Like, these are little things you can do to like offset it that actually matter. But you save your cheats for that. The rest of the time, you eat a clean diet, right? Healthy whole foods, don't eat too much, adequate protein. I'll have my protein cheat sheet in the show notes of this. You can download that. It'll give you everything you need to know about how much protein you need to eat, the best sources of protein, how much protein is in each food, all that good stuff makes it like unbelievably easy to hit your protein. This should be something that we're past by now, but download that protein cheat sheet. It'll help you a ton. These are the things. There's no, when I say get on a diet and get locked in, it's not do the carnivore diet. Like, there's no need for those extreme things. I'll be very upset if anyone who listens to this is like, oh, I started doing the carnivore diet because like I listened to DY's podcast, Winter Arc, I'm going to lock in. Like, that is idiotic. Please, if you do that after listening to this podcast, don't tell anyone that you listen to this podcast, because that is not what I'm saying, and I don't want anyone to do that. Unless you have like a severe autoimmune disorder or some other health condition and are a complete idiot, like there's no reason to do the carnivore diet, an extreme vegan diet, unless maybe religious reasons or whatever. There's no reason for these extreme things. Like, we got to get past this. Enough of this. It's so ridiculous. And I don't know how much more we can talk about how silly it is to do these things when you really just eat a regular diet. Healthy whole foods, vegetables, meats and fish, eggs, poultry, carbs of things that come from the earth. Like, you don't need a package of... I can't even think of things because there are things that I don't even eat, like rice, potatoes. These things are fine, normal, pasta, okay. Breads, like you don't need a cookies and other. I'm struggling even to put words on them. Eat regular foods, eat whole foods that are normally grown. Make this most of your diet. You have your snacks and your other things here and there, sure, fine, do your thing. But 90% of your diet needs to be healthy whole foods, and then you get your fun stuff here and there. But again, you want to make big changes, you got to make big changes. Save your cheat foods for the holidays. If you're going to use this period, and this is going to be, your personal goals, you can use this period to lose weight as like part of one of your fitness goals for this time. Get your calories in check, right? Calorie deficit, that's going to be the thing. There's millions of calorie calculators out there. You can you track your weight over time. I'm struggling to say it because I don't want to like go into a whole spiel about it, but essentially define your deficit. The best way to do it, guess and check. Track your weight for 2 weeks. Track everything you eat for 2 weeks. If your weight is going up, then it means you're in a calorie surplus and you need to reduce your calories. If your weight is staying the same, it means you're at maintenance. You can reduce your calories by 500 and you'll be in a deficit. And if over those 2 weeks your weight is going down, then you're already in deficit. Good, continue. That's how you find your calories in the simplest, easiest, most accurate way possible. And if you want to put on muscle, make sure that you're eating enough, but don't gain too much body fat. Listen to a few episodes ago, I think it was episode 180. Episode 180. Why you should never do this whole dirty bulk thing. And really, you shouldn't even do these like bulk and cut phases anyways. Like, if you're losing weight, lose weight, get lean, and then just main gain for forever from there. That is the way to do this. But pick your goal. Do the things that you need to do to get there. Clean foods, control your calories accordingly, and then lock in and do it. You can do anything for a couple months. If it's going to be harder now, during the winter, during the big holidays that are coming up, during the cold weather and you wanting to have that, warm comfort food kind of feeling, imagine how much better you are going to be at all of this stuff come springtime, come summertime, when everything is easier. It's going to feel like a breeze. It'll feel like a breeze, and you'll be miles ahead of everyone and miles ahead of where you've ever been before heading into summertime. So lock in. You can do anything for a couple months. Lifestyle factors, sleep, walking. I mean, sleep, again, get your sleep dialed. Come on. If this is something that you're struggling with and not doing anything to figure it out, it's time. Pick a bedtime, stick to it. Pick your wake up time, stick to that. Count your bedtime as 8 hours, 7.5 to 9 hours before your bedtime, or before your wake up time rather. And then stick to that bedtime. That is arguably more impactful than sticking to a wake up time, because your wake up time is going to be created by when you go to sleep. So pick that bedtime, stick to it. Dark room, phone off, a half an hour or an hour before bed. Simple things. Get rid of the screens before bed. Read a book in bed that'll help you fall asleep. Do some meditation. Highly recommend those things. That'll be a great time to start doing this as well. Read books that maybe like inspire you that are kind of like storybooks. One that I would recommend because of personal relations, we'll go with that, is read the biography of Alexander the Great. I can leave a link to the one that I've read a couple times if you like, or DM me if I forget to do that. Read that. It's inspiring. It's a phenomenal story. It's a very important and interesting part of history and shapes the way a lot of things are in the world today. Read that. It's inspiring, but it's a story, and it will help you kind of distract your mind from the things of the day and then get to sleep. But get your sleep dialed. Like, it's time. Get that done. Walking is the other one. I can't even, so many times in the winter, I hear, oh, but I couldn't get my steps in. It's like, it's like really cold outside today. Like, yeah, okay, cool. We have these great things in the year 2024. They're called winter jackets, and their purpose is to keep you warm when it's cold outside. Now, I live in Toronto, and it gets cold here, but it doesn't get that cold. There are places in Canada, and maybe people listening, where it gets for real cold, -40, -50 Celsius. Maybe there's something different to be said about those places in those times. But for everybody else, for people in Toronto and the GTA, it does not get that cold here. And for most places, it does not get cold enough to the point where you can't put on a winter jacket and a scarf and a toque and just go outside and be fine. Yeah, you'll be a little bit cold, but okay, suck it up. You'll be fine. You're going to live. And if you can't do that, there are those great walking pads now. They're only a couple $100. You can buy them. You stick them anywhere. They fold up. They're really space saving. And you can walk on them. They don't go very fast, but they're fast enough to walk on. Go to the gym, jump on the treadmill at the gym, bring your phone, answer emails, whatever you got to do. Get your steps in. Like, this is not something, a time to make excuses, but again, time to lock in. Get that done. Now, the kicker of all of this stuff is, how do we make this all stick? It's really easy to listen to this podcast or watch some other motivational videos and read other people's tweets and posts and get fired up and like really excited to do all the things. And I would bet a good amount of money that you have tried something like this before. This is it, man. That was last time. I'm never having dessert again. I'm going to be at the gym every single day, 6 a.m., in bed, asleep by 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. Like, I'm locked in. Like, this is it, man. This is the first day of the rest of my life. Like, new me time. I know you've been there because I've been there too. It's a fun place to think about being, but then it lasts for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks if you're really lucky, and then it fizzles off and you're back to doing the stuff that you were, and you miss a day here, you miss a day there, and all of a sudden you haven't been to the gym for 3 weeks, and you're sleeping in and you're eating junk food and whatever. It's all back. I said earlier in this podcast that fitness is a solo journey and that you need to accept that. And you do. But you also can lean on other people and keep dipping back into that well for support, for accountability, for motivation, and for whatever support really is the best word that you need. No one will still do this stuff for you. It is impossible I wish I would pay anything to be able to get in the gym for you, to be able to eat healthy foods for you, to be able to walk for you, to be able to go to bed early for you. I would do anything. My life would be so easy, would make your life so amazing. I would be so rich if that was a possibility, but it's not. This is not the way that it works. So you got to do it. But you can dip into that well for motivation, for accountability, for all of these things. Or you can keep bashing your head into the wall and trying to make it work. And you've been there before. Because again, I know that you have, because I've been there too. You can keep trying to smash your head through the wall and lock in and get it done and watch some motivational videos. And there's a reason why it doesn't work. We need accountability. We need each other for that support, for that external stuff. And I'm not even talking about hiring someone as a coach. Obviously, if you want that, yes, hiring someone like myself, it's going to make this a hell of a lot easier for you. I'll give you all the structure, all the plans, tell you exactly everything you need to do, take all the guesswork, do all the thinking for you. And then all you got to do is execute still. But that's not even what I'm talking about. Like, I don't have secrets. I make your life easier to hit your goals. But aside from that, you need some form of accountability outside of yourself, and not someone you can brush off easily. Not your best buddy, not your brother, not your mom. Like, it has to be, ideally, it's someone who's like a third party to you, who you kind of feel bad to let them down because you know that they're expecting something of you. And so this can be like, use me for sure. You can join, there's like many groups and stuff like Facebook groups or Discord groups or probably school communities or various things online. If you want to build something like this, send me a message and I'll get a WhatsApp group or a whatever, Discord or something going for whoever wants to do this. And I'll just keep us in there. We'll all fire each other up and we'll all come through on the other side much better, and that'll help. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll set that up and I'll do that for you. But you need to keep yourself accountable. You need to find a way, whether that's, again, all of these things, but find a community, find some people, find some external things and actual humans, not just an app, not just a calendar where you're check marking things. Like, it has to be other humans. It cannot just be inanimate things. Get some other people in your corner that are going to pat you on the back and pick you up when you're down, because this is fucking hard. And it's okay that it's hard and you can do it even though it's hard, but it's going to be way easier to do it and doable with some help. So get that help because you need it. I'll leave you with this last thought. And this episode is much shorter than typical episodes on purpose. It's great to listen to podcasts like this, to make plans and watch YouTube videos of Chris Bumstead prepping for the Olympia coming up and get fired up. I like all that stuff too, right? But in the words of the great Chris Williamson, podcaster, planning to do the thing is not doing the thing. Watching videos about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Telling other people you are going to do the thing is not doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. So shut off all the distractions, all the nonsense that isn't actually doing the thing, and get to work. That's why this podcast episode is shorter, because turn this off and get to work. Let's fucking get it. I'm tired of myself and hearing about other people going on this whole, like, let's get locked in. And then you see it's exciting for 10 days and then they fall face of the earth. And then 2 months later, I fell off, but like I'm back now. And you see this for 15 months in a row. I don't want to see that anymore. So let's fucking go. Let's lock in. Reach out to me, lean on me. I need you too, because I need you just as much as you need me for this. So let's get it together. Share the pod, get more people on board, follow on social, all that stuff. Let's get to work. Let's go. Winter arc incoming. Go outside. Be a good person. See you next time.